Let's talk about this 90 Day This Single Life Tell-All Part 1. First, starting off with Colt and Cortney. So Colt got called out quite a bit in this tell-all. He was called out by Cortney because apparently he slid into Cortney's DMs while he was with Cortney. So Cortney took him over to her BFF's house with her husband. Her kids are there. The BFF literally makes dinner for Cortney and Colt. And then Colt went home and started DMing the girl, trying to hook up with her after he just spent time with her husband and kids. And Cortney called that out. I guess Cortney, when she went through Colt's phone, she found messages of him doing that. He tried to deny it, like, oh no, she was the one who reached out to me first, and trying to act like she was the one trying to cheat on her husband and do Cortney dirty. But Cortney called him out because she went through the messages and saw that he was the one blowing her up first and wouldn't leave her alone. That's literally insane. That just goes to show that Colt has literally zero self-control. Because, come on, that's her best friend. If anybody's going to go to Cortney and tell the tea to Cortney about who's been hitting them up, it's going to be her best friend, especially if it's Cortney's own man. Any best friend with loyalty would do that. Like, if Cortney didn't go through his phone, I'm sure her best friend would have eventually told her anyways. And then Colt got called out by Jamal at one point because Jamal came out for Kim's storyline, and Jamal was like, yeah, I don't like Colt. And Colt was like, why don't you like me? And he's like, well, I just feel like you play on people's feelings and take advantage of people. You get them to feel sorry for you. And that's exactly what he did with Cortney. I think Jamal read him like a book. He finds people who are lonely. He finds people, I think, who have low self-esteem, and he kind of preys on that, and he makes them feel like, oh, poor me, what am I gonna do all by myself? Like, he needs people. And I think he kind of feels like he can act however he wants because people are still gonna feel so bad for him. And I think Cortney's part of the reason why he feels like he can be that way, because he got away with a lot of stuff at first with Cortney, and Cortney was still kind of flirting with him, hanging out with him in the hotels and stuff, before she finally put a stop to it. And like, here's Diana, like, he's messed around and talked to Cortney behind Diana's back and other girls, and Diana's still talking to him. I think at the end of the day, a lot of these girls just still entertain Colt because of his situation he's in, but also because of the fact he's on TV. Like, if he wasn't on TV, I feel like he would not be pulling the girls that he's pulled since we've seen him on the show. Things started to get tense between Colt and Jamal. They were getting in each other's faces at the tell-all with Kimberly stuck right in the middle. I thought they were about to start swinging on each other, but I think they were just like talking crap, because I'm sure the producers hype them up before they go on stage, like, hey, if you got anything to say, make sure you're as opinionated as possible to keep the messiness going. And Colt was out there crying about everyone ganging up on him. But what did you expect when you spent the whole season cheating and acting like a freaking dog? And now let's talk about Liz. So Liz announces that she is engaged. She has a 4-carat engagement ring, which is absolutely stunning. Like, I can't, if that is real diamonds they put in there, that engagement ring is a lot. Because at one point, when I thought I was going to get engaged, I was looking at engagement rings, and I was looking at like 2 carats, and I was like, damn, I don't even know if I'm with somebody if they can afford a 2-carat, let alone a 4-carat. That is a big rock. But this man really went out and splurged on her, and apparently she got engaged to this guy, but she wasn't even dating him before. I guess it's so confusing. She was asked how long she was with this guy, and she's like, well, we didn't really date before. We were talking and we were friends. And she tried to act like they were just friends before she went on this trip to the Dominican Republic with Sophie and Julia. But Shabuti, he was really good friends. He's an Instagram blogger. He was really good friends with Liz before they had a falling out because she called him out because she didn't like Shabuti not agreeing with Jasmine and calling Jasmine out. But anyways, she ended up telling him at one point that she was already engaged when she went to the DR. So she's trying to rewrite history, make it sound like she got engaged after the DR. No, you were engaged before, and it kind of makes sense why she's trying to make it sound like she wasn't engaged, because she's trying to kind of downplay the situation and minimize the situation and make it not look as bad as it was, because it was already bad enough that you're in another country leading this poor man on, Villa, I can't even say his name right, you know, Pedro's friend. And I can tell that Liz deep down feels like Pedro's friend is the one who got away, because she was getting so emotional talking about this guy. This guy comes out on stage and he's like, yeah, I really did love Liz. He fell in love with Liz in that 1 week that they spent together. And Liz started breaking down crying, and she's like, oh my God, you were so special in my life. And she's saying all this stuff to him literally right in front of her man that she's engaged to now. And the whole time her man's like side-eyeing, and you can tell when he gets home, he's about to rip Liz a new one. At this point, Liz does not need to get married, because you can tell that her heart is still with Villa. Even she said that she still cares about him, and she would have known that he loved her, things would have been different. And you can tell that her man is concerned about it, because her man had her block Villa, because I guess they were continuing to talk to each other even after Liz came back home. And to me, I just feel like, I don't know if this is the case for sure, but with Liz, I think she just needs to take some time and learn to love herself. I know it's a little late now that she's engaged, but we've seen with all these relationships, she gets in one relationship after another. And I think a lot of the times Liz settles because she doesn't want to be lonely, as what we saw with Big Ed. You know, we saw how much she chased Big Ed and how heartbroken she was over Big Ed. And I mean, Big Ed is no prize at all. The only thing somewhat interesting about him is the fact that he was on TV at one point, but still, I don't think that's worth being in a relationship with someone over. And I think a lot of that contributes to Liz's health problems, because she did reveal that she had cancer, and I guess her ex Jason ended up getting her pregnant. She ended up having a miscarriage, and when she went into the doctor about her miscarriage, the doctor found a mass, and I guess she has this mass in her stomach, and she's eventually going to have to get a hysterectomy for that. And I think her health problems is a lot of the reasons why she jumps from relationship to relationship, because she doesn't know how her health's going to be 5 years from now. She doesn't know what this mass is going to get even bigger, and she may get to a point where she's unable to take care of herself. And I think that's a realistic fear for Liz, and I think because of that, she always wants to make sure she has a boyfriend, so she has someone to take care of her if something like that was to happen. And I think a lot of the time she just settles because she doesn't fully love herself, because she hasn't taken time between relationships to gain her self-esteem and self-confidence back. I mean, I'm happy for her, and I hope this is her forever, but I just have a feeling this isn't going to be the guy she spends the rest of her life with. I think she's just excited to have a guy who chooses her and who wants to rush and marry her and be with her, and that's all Liz has ever wanted. So I don't think she's really thinking about, like, the nitty-gritty, like, okay, I'm still in love with Villa, so maybe I should take a pause on moving forward with someone else when I still have feelings for another person. Like I said, I'm happy for Liz, but at this point, it's like, damn, girl, you've been engaged so many times and went through so many men since we've known her. It kind of, like, reminds me of, like, you know, when someone has, like, 8 kids, by, like, the second or third kid, it's not as exciting anymore. And that's kind of how I feel how it is with Liz and her engagements. Like, she's been engaged so many times at this point. Her being engaged is like a natural occurrence. Like, one thing about every year, you know, Christmas is going to come once a year, and usually, you know, Liz Woods is going to get engaged at least once a year. And then we catch up with Pedro and Sophie. They haven't talked since she left the DR, which I don't blame him for not wanting to talk to her. And apparently it was to the point where Pedro even refused to film any of the Between the Sheets segments with Sophie. I don't blame him, because I really feel like she just wasted his time. She had him convinced she was ready for a relationship, so he was out here giving her the girlfriend treatment, taking her on dates, buying her things. And I think at the end of the day, Sophie wasn't ready for a boyfriend. She just wanted somebody so she could get on another season 90 Day Fiancé. That's what I'm convinced of, because it didn't seem like she wanted to do anything to actually work on a relationship. Like, I know Pedro's family's crazy, but I feel like that's something they could have easily overcame. And then we learned that Pedro has a new girl, which this is the girl he's been showing off on social media for a while. And it seems like they're really in love with each other. He says this is the love of his life. Like, he hasn't been more sure about anyone else in his life. Pedro is so head over heels in love with his new girl, but of course, like always, his family isn't a big fan of his new girl. His Negative Nancy's sister pointed out the fact that she noticed that Pedro's girlfriend is always traveling to different countries, but she's never taking photos with friends or family. So she believes that Pedro's new girlfriend may be an escort. And Pedro's girlfriend denied that. She just said, look, I got money to afford to travel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the first part of the 90 Day, the Single Life tell-all. The second part definitely looks like it's going to be good. I saw a teaser on the Reality TV Mess Instagram page. So check that out if you want to look at the next tell-all. But let me know what you guys think, and thank you so much for watching.